Alright, so this right here is the Poco X4 Pro, which is basically, well, the Poco X4 Pro 5G that was in China minus the 100 MP sensor replaced with a 64 MP sensor. Or if you like add the 108 MP sensor to this and keep everything else, it's the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus. Well, to be honest, I'm not really sure what Xiaomi is doing with its naming convention, but let's just skip all of that apart. The main difference between these two phones is, well, the design, obviously, and the difference in the primary camera sensor. And for that difference, you will have to pay about 1 to 2,000 depending upon introductory offers and bank offers and whatnot. So anyway, the big question, which phone is right for you? The flagship 108 MP sensor or the more reliable and better optimized 64 MP sensor? And that's what this video is all about. This is Varun from GTR, and in today's video, we'll be comparing the Poco X4 Pro with the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus to find out which phone makes more sense for you. Let's get started. Alright, so let's start off by talking about the design first, because that is clearly one of the differentiating factors. Though, to be honest, there's not a lot of difference. I mean, there are two things that stand out. One, the camera modules. Second, the design on the back panel. Now, I personally like Poco's design here because it's a little more flashy, and personally I'm a fan of the camera module here because it's a little more symmetric. So yeah, I would slide with the comparatively cheaper phone of these two. With that being said, the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus definitely looks far more professional. I mean, yes, it is flashy in its own way, but at the same time, it's a far more minimal look as compared to what Poco offers. So yeah, if that is a kind of look you prefer, then definitely go for it. Other than that, both are IP53 rated, both come with a hybrid SIM card slot, both come with a 3.5 headphone jack, both come with the same IR blaster, both feel practically the same in hand, although Poco is ever so slightly heavier, but that's not a major difference. Now, speaking of not having a major difference, let me just quickly skim through all of the other common parts of these two devices. Starting off with the display, both the devices have a 6.67-inch 120Hz Super AMOLED display, and it's basically the same panel. However, in our testing, I found Poco's display to be a little bit more vibrant and slightly saturated. Now, I'm not sure why that's happening because all the settings are set to the same values, but yeah, Poco's display does seem a tad bit more vibrant. Other than that, they're both Widevine L1 certified. But of course, because they both come with Snapdragon 695 means that there's no support for HDR content and video playback is limited to just 1080p. Now, aiding on to the video performance, we have stereo speakers on both the devices and both of them sound good. Moving along, having the common factors, we have the performance. Snapdragon 695 on both the devices with UFS 2.2, same performance, great for day-to-day usage and decent enough for gaming. Both the devices heat up equally, and honestly neither is recommended for extreme gaming usage, but yeah, for day-to-day usage both should be fine. And speaking of fine things, both of them come with MIUI 13 based on Android 11, equally stable, which is surprising because usually Redmi has a track record of having buggy software updates on the new launches, but that's good to see that both the devices are pretty stable, and it's obviously a shame that there is no Android 12 even right now. Also, the last thing that's similar here is the battery backup here. Both the devices come with 5000 mAh battery with support for 67-watt charging, and the chargers are provided inside the box. And yeah, basically you can easily get 1 to 1.5 days of heavy usage, and both the devices can charge fully under 60 minutes, so that's good. So yeah, that was a quick wrap up of all the things that are similar. Now, coming on to the main differences, the camera performance. Actually, even for the camera, there is just the difference of the primary sensor. There's a 8MP ultrawide sensor and a 2MP macro sensor on both the devices. Only the primary sensor is different. Redmi offers a 108MP shooter while Poco offers a 64MP sensor. Up front here, the 16MP shooter on both the phones. Now, as far as the performance goes, in daylight shots, both are equally good. Now, I would say that Poco has slightly better control over shadows, but for the most part, the images are hard to separate. The colors are equally vibrant on both with a slight tint of saturation, but nothing that would seem oversaturated by any means. One thing that I would like to highlight here is that Poco has much better HDR shots. Like, the difference is massive. The 60MP sensor is much better optimized for use by the Snapdragon 695's ISP as compared to what Redmi is producing with its 108MP sensor. Also, interestingly, while Redmi supposedly has the bigger sensor on paper, Poco's images are bigger in size. Now, this is due to the fact that Redmi pixel bins the 108MP sensor images to 12MP shots, while Poco pixel bins the 64MP shots to 16MP shots. However, if you switch to the high-res modes, which are 108 and 64 MP respectively, then definitely Redmi has supposedly a bigger picture. Now, with that being said, if you zoom in to match the frames, of course, like I said, you have to zoom in high on the Poco. I would actually argue that Poco's shot looks better thanks to software over-sharpening techniques. And yes, while this is my own analysis, we always leave a direct download links to all of the camera samples taken directly from the phones. So you can go ahead and download all of those photos, analyze those shots for yourself on your own system, and then comment down below which shots you like more. Now moving on to low light shots, that is one area where Redmi seems to have more details and slightly more illumination as well. So in comparison, I think I would pick Redmi over Poco here. Now, as far as the videos of both the cameras are concerned, well, let's just take a look. Alright, so we're recording 1080p 30 FPS footage from the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus, which is on my left, and the Poco X4 Pro 5G is on my right side. They both cap that 1080p 30 FPS thanks to Snapdragon 695. You can get an idea of the stabilization here. Both are pretty average, I would say. Also, I can notice a lot of frame skipping at the time of recording. That might be fixed in the process video, but for now, well, the video performance is decent at best. Is like that is how I would describe it. Like I said, the HDR performance, stabilization, everything else just seems to be pretty much at par. Even though the primary sensor is different on both the devices, the video performance is similar on both. Alright, so we're recording 1080p 30 FPS footage once again from the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus, which is on my left, and the Poco X4 Pro 5G is on my right side. Again, for the same as the review, both the phones are performing pretty much the same. I think the footage is like the exposure control is better on Poco, which is on my right side, while on the Redmi my face looks a little bit washed out. I am not really liking that. So yeah, in this context, at least at the time of recording, I think Poco is doing a better job. Though as for but yeah, as far as the final result is concerned, I'll let you guys comment down there which video you found to be better. So what's the verdict? Well, you have the prices on your screen right now, and it's basically a difference of 1,000 to 2,000 rupees depending on their different bank offers and stuff like that. And in that context, I think I would personally slide with the Poco X4 Pro 5G. I mean, personally, I don't find any reason to go with the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus when this device exists. The 65MP sensor is far better optimized here, and that is by talking about the stock camera performance. I have not even gotten into support for Gcam. I'm sure there's Gcam available for both, and if you'd like to see a Gcam comparison, let me know in the comments down below. So yeah, personally, I would slide with the Poco X4 Pro 5G here simply because the camera is better optimized, and I personally do like the design here too. Now, that is not to say that the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus is not worth picking. In fact, the design here is far more minimal, and if you're a professional user, then you would definitely like a design like this. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, for the camera, it's quite clear that Poco is doing a better job here. Things might change after software updates, but as things stand right now, Poco is the better value for money device between these two. And well, that was it. If you found this video helpful, make sure to let us know by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more awesome tech content. Till then, this is Juan from GTR, and I'll see you in the next one.